music we're using today comes from the World Youth Days. And his opening remarks, how on the very day he began his ministry in 1978, he went out there boldly on this, like right outside the windows in St. Peter's Square, and he said, "Don't be afraid. Open wide the doors to Christ. Don't be afraid." The words that were spoken to St. Joseph by the angel. Don't be afraid to give yourselves to Jesus Christ. Takes nothing away, gives everything in return. Now, that was 1978. I was 16 years old at the time. And I know that the 1970s, you're probably thinking, okay, disco and, all of that kind of stuff, right? The puffy hair and the tight clothes. Sorry about that, everybody. We of my generation apologize to your generation for the 70s. But, it was an exciting time. A year later, same Pope, John Paul, came right here to New York City. And I was the same age as a lot of you. I was 17 at the time. And it was an event. It wasn't yet World Youth Day, but he had a special gathering of all the young people at Madison Square Garden. And so I got to go to that. It was pretty exciting. Now, I didn't know anything about people events, all right? I had them all imagined in my head. I figured this is going to be real solid, all right? I pictured, lots of solemnity, lots of pomp, and all of that kind of stuff. I expected that we'd all have to be very, very serious. 5,000 people be very serious in Madison Square Garden, right? And I imagined that he would be very serious. Well, the first thing I remember is him coming in on the Pope-mobile, circling all around and just exciting the whole crowd, getting everybody all excited. And then I remember we were sitting behind him, and I was away back then, okay, but it was behind. And keep in mind, the Jumbotron in Madison Square Garden wasn't quite the technology we have today. All right? So, we tried to see what's going on. And all of a sudden, I heard somebody going, ooh. And I'm saying, man, this is rude. I can't believe somebody's doing that in front of the Pope. Guess what? It was the Pope. He was the one doing it. He was the one. It's something, I guess, it was a Polish thing that maybe grandparents would do when they're with their kids to kind of get them all animated, right? Well, that's what he was doing. Instead of asking everybody, please be quiet and be serious, he was saying, everybody get up and get excited. And all I remember, 1979, I said, man, a new day has come. A new day has come. Things are going to be different around here. And you know what? That's exactly true. When Pope John Paul said, open wide the doors to Christ, he was opening wide those doors. And I remember what he talked about. It was an invitation. He talked a little bit about the work of the church and the schools and all that, and he says, listen, there's one reason why we do all these things. So that you might know Jesus Christ. So that you might know Jesus as a friend, as somebody you can count on, as someone who believes in you, and someone who knows you, each of you, better than you know yourself. He said, I want you to know Jesus Christ, that you can follow, that you can count on him no matter what is going on in your life. And you know what? He had right, because that's exactly what Jesus wanted, isn't it? I asked this a lot of confirmation. What do you think Jesus wanted more than anything else on the night before he died? The night before he died, more than anything else in the world, Jesus wanted to be with his friends. He wanted to share that meal with them. We call it the Last
Supper.
You got it. He wanted to share that meal with them. And he wanted to talk to them about friendship, about what they meant to him. He wanted, the Gospel of John has 21 chapters. And you all know that, right? Take my word for it, it does. All right? Did you know chapter 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17? 5 chapters. Are all this one dinner conversation? Pretty important, don't you think? What does Jesus talk about? Friendship. You are my friends.
Yeah.
He talks about friendship. He says you can always count on me no matter what's going on in your life. When he said to them at the table that night, he's saying that to a new generation of friends right here today. He's saying that to all of you who are gathered here at St. Joseph's Cathedral, and to all of those who are now in different regional places, all over the diocese here, and to all of the young people all around the world, Jesus is saying the same words. I call you my friend. I want to know you deeply. I want to share your life with you. And I want to share my life with you. I want to be part of you. I want to be there. I want to be involved in it. I want to be part of the others and all the family. I want to be here when it's a little difficult, when you're afraid, when you're nervous. Because I want to be part of it all. That's what you need to do. And so the message of today, the message of this gathering is really about friendship with Jesus Christ, coming to know him and letting him know you. All right, he already knows you, like I said, better than you know yourself, but he wants to be engaged. He wants to give you, right? Doesn't he? Like any kind of a friendship. And like any kind of a friendship, it means a little bit of surrendering ourselves. It means turning ourselves over, right? It means revealing ourselves. Jesus wants to hear from you. And he wants you to kind of turn yourself over to him. Yeah, it does involve some surrender, but you know what? You do that in any relationship. It's kind of like, holding on to the rope when you're climbing up a mountain, reaching out for that lifeline, right? He's asking you to do, follow his ways. He's there to show you the way that's secure, the way that leads to happiness, the way that leads to truth. There are a lot of dead ends and lies out there in the world. You see, Jesus is the kind of friend who's looking to gain nothing from you. Not to profit, not to manipulate, but really he wants to give everything to you. Can I offer you a suggestion? Mind if I do this? A suggestion? If you want to know Jesus Christ, read the Bible. Now, I don't mean pick up the Bible. Sometimes people will say, okay, I'm going to start to read the Bible. I'm going to start on page 1 in the beginning. God made the world, right? And I'm going to read it from beginning to end. And I'm thinking, yeah, that'll last a while. Can I make a simple suggestion? Pick one of the Gospels. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You know that, right? Just pick one of them. Mark is the short side. And just go through it. I'm not saying sit there and read it and say, okay, what's the deeper meaning here? Just read it like you would read a social media post. Take a paragraph of one little story and just read it. And let that be Jesus talking to you today. That's all. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just a little bit. And meet it as a friend talking to you. Telling you about his day. And then you tell him about yours. Here's a simple way to pray. And it's authentic. It's human. It's real. Of course, we come to know Jesus as a friend through our participation in the sacraments, especially here at the Eucharist, right? We pray for a little bit before Mass in front of the Blessed Sacrament. Jesus really present. And now we give ourselves completely to him in this Eucharist, and he gives us himself. Be afraid. Jesus has never done generosity. Time given to Jesus is never time lost, friends. you give to Jesus, he accepts it graciously, and then he gives it back to you better than ever. Whether it be time, what do we do at Mass? We offer him bread and wine. Say, here you go. He says, oh, thank you very much, right? What does he do? He gives it back to us. Only when he gives it back to us, it's his body and blood. Wow. Jesus is never outdone in generosity. The other day when I was in 12, I was talking about Andrew. Remember the little boy came up with, now I gotta get this right, 5 fish and 2 barley loaves. Right? 5 fish and 2 pieces of bread. I kept reversing. I don't really like fish that much. So I was thinking bread. But anyway, 5 fish and 2 bread. And what did Jesus do? He took it, he accepted it, and then in a miraculous way he used it to feed the crowd, 5,000 people. Whatever you give to Jesus, he's going to multiply beyond your wildest imagination. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to give yourself to Jesus. You know, I mentioned St. Joseph today, and we're focusing on this Mass of St. Joseph because last year on December 8th, Pope Francis declared the year of St. Joseph. So guess what? This week on December 8th, the year of St. Joseph concludes, right? So we're wrapping it all up. Saying thank you for the graces of this year. And wow, how fortunate that we can do that here in this house of St. Joseph. Our cathedral, our home here. Give thanks for this grace of St. Joseph. God called Joseph, don't be afraid, and asked him to know Jesus in a very unique way. Right? He got to know Jesus as a little baby. The reason we had this year of St. Joseph was because it was the 150th anniversary of the declaration of St. Joseph as patron of the Universal Church. And I just want to read you a little quote from that declaration. Remember, in the first reading, we heard about how David, the king, 1,000 years before Jesus, wanted to build this big house for God. And God said, that's very nice, David. I'll take care of that. More importantly, I'm going to bless a family and a nation, and I'm going to do something amazing. And 1,000 years later, I did something amazing. He came to live among us, and he came to live among us. And think about what Joseph got to do. For all those years, people were waiting for God's promise. And now him, whom countless kings and prophets had desired to see, Joseph not only saw with his own eyes, but actually conversed with, embraced with eternal affection, and kissed. He diligently reared him, the faithful to receive as the bread that came down from heaven, whereby they might gain eternal life. Think about that. Wow, did St. Joseph have the privilege of God? He held God, he held Jesus as a little baby. But the call is the same. Joseph, don't be afraid, God said. Don't be afraid, Joseph. Don't be afraid to take Mary into your home as your wife. Don't be afraid to follow wherever I lead you. Don't be afraid to take on this mission. Get to know your son, Jesus. Get to know the son of my son, Jesus, who I'm sending to your care. Right? Joseph did. We hear, poor Joseph, you know. There he is, he's trying to figure things out, and he has this dream saying, don't be afraid. So he says, okay, I won't be afraid, I'll do what you say, God, right? And then you remember how he had to travel, everybody go to Bethlehem to be enrolled in the census, right? Remember that? And that's when baby Jesus was born, and with a lot of drama all around him, right? Tough night. And then we hear that Joseph goes to sleep, and he has a dream, and he said, Herod is out to get your baby. Get out of town. So Joseph packs everybody up. He makes his way all the way to Egypt, you know. No Uber, people. This was a tough journey. Right? He made his way. And gets there. Then he has another dream, and it says, okay, it's safe to go home. He starts to pack up. They're walking all the way this way. And then he has another dream that says, no, wait a minute, Herod's son has come, you better keep going somewhere else. So now he starts walking and, saying, when is Uber? Wait 1,000 years or so, too. Poor Joseph, I think he must have been afraid to go to sleep at night. All those dreams. But you see, he trusted. He listened. He listened for the voice of God. And that's what friendship can help you do with Jesus Christ. Be able to listen. That's why I ask you those prayers. A lot of noise in the world. A lot of things calling for your attention, isn't that so? A lot of distractions. A lot of pushing to try to say, hey, I'm the center of the universe. And if I'm not, there's something wrong with me. If you're not, there's something wrong with you. It's a lot of filtering out. That's what friendship with Jesus is. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're here today. You declare yourselves as friends of Jesus Christ. Isn't that amazing? Thank you. Thank you for declaring yourselves. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeking to deepen this friendship with Christ. I'll close with some of the words that Pope John Paul on that day in that 6-way God. He said, the world needs you. The church, he said first, the church needs you. The world needs you because you belong to Christ. The world needs Christ. The world needs you. The church needs you. Because the world needs Christ. God bless you. God bless you in these last days of this year of St. Joseph. God bless you during this time of Advent.